everyone. I've been posting these videos on bread, and I hope they're helping everybody. So we're down to kind of like our final tutorial part video. I'll show you my end product when it's all done. I had somebody joke earlier with me, a friend from my past, that they want to see a bunch of videos with me doing them in different hats. So I'm going to try and make that happen in one form or another, that each time you see me, maybe I'll be surprisingly wearing something different. So anyways, it was a fun comment. So your bread has done its second rise. It's been 2 hours roughly. So we take the top off and we see this. And unfortunately my video guy had other projects to get to today. But this is how your bread looks. It's a little bit puffier. It's not quite as puffed up as when you unveiled it this morning, but it is puffier. And you want it to have some spring back to it, but to still leave a little bit of an imprint. So that says it hasn't overproofed, but has proofed enough to be ready to go in the oven. So you take a good knife, and I'll see if I can show you guys in a way that doesn't block the camera, and you make a cut. You want to make a cut, but oh, I guess I should say first off, preheat your oven. Get your oven up to 450 degrees. That way it's nice and hot. A lot of people think, oh man, that's really hot to bake your bread at. Sourdough in these crock pot things, these enamel crock pots, bakes at a really hot temperature. So you're going to do 450, get it up to that temperature, put your lid in there to heat up with it. Because I think that having a nice hot lid traps some of the heat down and puts the heat instantly on the bread. And I get a beautiful crust that way. So put your lid in there to warm up, and 450. When you put your bread in, when it is preheated to 450, turn it down to 400. So let me make sure that's right. I'm pretty sure it's 400 we turn it down to. I'll check my recipe. Such a beat up looking recipe, like probably so many of you guys have. It's like you look back at your family recipes and they all look really worn out, and you're like, okay, this is a tried and true recipe. So yes, 400. So preheat to 450, turn down to 400 once you put the bread in itself. So get your knife, your sharp knife of some kind. Let's see if I can, there we go. And you're gonna make an angled cut into the bread. For some reason, when you angle it, it doesn't explode the crust. You have to make a cut, because otherwise your top will kind of like just explode. Not like literally, but you won't have a very nice crust, and your bread won't expand in the right way. So you can make one line. I have kind of a pattern I do sometimes. I'm just going to do one on this one for you guys. Again, you just got to wait for the oven to preheat at this point, and then put your hot top on it and put it in. Turn it down to 400, and that goes in there at 400 with the top on for 40 minutes. So set a timer. That's one of the things I've done wrong before. Again, anything I could have done wrong, I've done wrong with this bread. So I forgot to turn it down to 400 one time, and I had a really crispy, unattractive loaf. I've forgotten to set timers. So set the timer, 400 degrees, 40 minutes with the top on. And then, when that timer goes off, you're going to take the top off, and you're going to leave it in for another 40 minutes. I leave mine in sometimes for 30 minutes because my oven runs hot, but leave it in for anywhere between 30 and 40 more minutes with the top off. It will be okay. It just seems like a really hot oven for bread. It'll work just fine. So if you don't happen to have one of these cast iron enamel pots, you know, you can bake it on parchment in the oven. I just watch it a little closer. I've never done that, but plenty of people do it. It'll be all right. So anywho, give it a shot, guys, and I'll see you in a bit with the final results.